Hello. Today, what we'll be doing we will be not playing anything. We will be reacting to the Manhunt controversy. Manhunt the game controversy. You know, Manhunt brutal game, and yeah, and where you go around killing people and stuff. You know, and yeah. This game that we are reacting to was on PS2, and so we are Manhunt 2 was banned in the UK, but we are still reacting because, in my opinion, it shouldn't be banned. It just should be placed on a place like for 25 ages or over, not 18. It's stupid that it banned, and today we'll be reacting to Fox News things on it, news things of it, where people talk about it. And yeah, and before we begin, I just want to say a massive thank you to my patrons, YouTube channel for supporting me on Patreon. I give a shout out to Cristi Nicola and DJ Windu. And for now, let's get into the video. Let's get into the reacting.
And now to this video game, so horrifying it has been banned in Great Britain.
For me, this game should not be banned. It should be released. It should have a serious warning, or at best, it should be not 8 plus. It should be 20 or 25 plus. This is stupid. They say we rage at the games, and look what they're doing. They make serious things out of fun. They say we take games too seriously. Look what they're doing. Look. It's only supposed to be entertainment, like a horror movie. Horror game and horror movie it's the same thing. You cannot ban a game of being brutal. Well, you can if it's that, but there are some disturbing movies like Human Centipede and like Saw. Those movies are also brutal. Those movies are also brutal. I don't get it.
It is now set to be released here in the US on Halloween.
Let me tell you something, Rob. This game is great to be released on Halloween because it involves murder and spooky stuff, so it's a great game to be released on Halloween. You're wrong there, my lady. You don't know what Halloween is. I'm sorry that I'm doing the gestures, I don't know why.
It is called Manhunt 2, and we must warn you there is nothing about this that is not disturbing. Manhunt 2 allows gamers to take on the role of a mental institution escapee who goes on a killing rampage. Not just that, but when you play this game on Wii...
What is the controversy about this game? Looks like any other horror movie. I don't get it. Maybe it's a bit more brutal, but are the movies not brutal? The movies not look at the movies. Don't look at all the media. Don't only look at the game. Don't only focus on the game. It looks just like any other horror movies. I don't get it. Look at all the types of media.
As opposed to Nintendo or PlayStation, you actually do the stabbing. So you grab the knife, you are over your victim, plunging the knife into the victim as you play the game.
And what are you doing? You are basically doing the same thing people by watching your news. Basically, you're teaching them to do that also. You're doing the same thing. That is what's wrong with you, lady? I don't get it. What's wrong with you, lady? You're portraying the action. You're a hypocrite, that's what you are.
Now, the U.S. version is slightly less violent than the original that was banned, but if Great Britain found the toned-down game unacceptable, how concerned do parents here need to be? Joining me now is Ted Baer of the Christian Film and Television Commission.
Yes, he's an old man, and he will definitely know what he's talking about. Definitely. Get a young man to talk about this. He probably hasn't even played the game. He hasn't. He's an old man that sits and drink beer. Yeah.
Ted, there is a very big industry for this type of game. They say, hey, if people want it, we're going to provide it.
Why do you think some movies are made, some horror movies are made? Why do you think they are made? Because people are interested. Why do you think some brutal horror movies are made? Because people are interested. And people will also be interested in this. Why do you think people are interested in Mortal Kombat? Because of the fatalities. I will say that if Mortal Kombat didn't have fatalities, it would be a boring game. It will be a classic fighter game. It will have nothing new to the table. Basically, it will be like original fighting game. That is what different about Mortal Kombat. People are interested in this type of media. People are interested. That's why horror movies are made. And yeah, and these games are made. Listen to yourself sometimes.
But many family groups here are outraged. Should they be?
They should be outraged because a certain number of children, not all children and not all teenagers who play the game will be susceptible to it, but a significant proportion, those that are susceptible to violence, especially when they're in those teenage years or childhood years, that they're more inclined to copy the behavior, to build the scripts of behavior. That becomes their scripts of behavior for later life. So it is extremely dangerous, and it's hard to identify who's going to turn out to be the Michael Cho or the Columbine, one of the people that's going to be just pushed over the edge by a game like this.
I'm gonna want to say one thing. I agree with one thing that you said. I agree with the thing that says that some people will be brutal after this and will be nasty and naughty. I agree. And the first thing it's void that you kids have to avoid as parents. Parents have to be careful. It's easy. You have to be careful. It's easy. You have to only be a responsible parent. That's it. That's fucking it. You have to care what your kids play. That's it. You have to care what they play. You can, if you think they mature enough, well, then let them. But when you let them, don't come with a cry that don't come with a cry that oh my kid is so brutal. You know why we have those documentaries? Because of parents that don't care about the kids. That's why we still say that gay media are so violent, so let them be. Just don't let your kids play it. That's why we have news like this. That's why games are being more touched on than the movies. That is why, because of the parents like this. Not like parents that let the kids play like these games and they don't care. Just have an iPad and don't play whatever you want. Whatever you want is freedom. You have freedom, and then yeah.
The more direct it is in terms of providing, just as you intimated in your introduction, the actual event of killing, the more likely it is to become a scripted behavior. And we know from all the studies at University of Santa Barbara that what you got to do is when you have malicious behavior, you got to refute it immediately.
Right, you shouldn't be practicing it and encouraging it.
What? What this lady is even about? You shouldn't be encouraging this type of behavior. Yeah, you shouldn't. This lady is stupid. I would say movies encourage it even more because there are real people. You can see the realism. Don't worry that it's maybe do a documentary on Nike's game. Don't do on this game because this game is graphically narrated. Tell me. In movies, you don't control the people. You don't. So it doesn't seem real. Because video game you usually have a controller to control. But in movies you don't. So movies seem more real, that's why. Movies seem more real in my opinion than the games. I get it. As a baby, you wouldn't understand what's real, but when you grow up, you start to understand more that the movie is real, and movies portray more. Because in movies there are real blood, real actors, real everything. And in game, you control the characters, which you don't do in movies. And she just said that this game has the Wii access, where you can do the actions. Well, I tell you one thing. This is called evolution. You know what VR? VR is also evolution. So, that's the future of gaming, lady.
In a video game. But you know, the manufacturer says, look, this has been given this rating. You should not be able to buy it or play it if you're under age 17. Do you believe that will work?
It never works. In fact, that's just like a blinking red light saying, come and get it. You know, we knew that.
I agree. The movies are also say that come and get it with the covers. I know what he means. The covers are too encouraging, and I agree. Gaming cover art is more encouraging to kids because gaming seems like kids entertainment. I know what he means, but portray this in a different way. Don't portray on the news. Don't take revenge out on the gaming and look, this game is brutal and don't take revenge on the game. Take revenge on the parent. Blame the parent. Say like this. Like start the news like this. Parents, what are you doing? Why are you letting your kids play this and this sort of game? Blame the parents. And if you really have to, release the game above 20 years of age, and then kids wouldn't play it. And there's a number on the cover that say what age, and parents should really look at that.
A while back in terms of theatrical movies that had the NC-17 or whatever were magnets. So, under the Clinton administration, the previous administration, there was an effort to say, we're going to card people, movie theaters are not going to let people in.
It doesn't work out well. Let me just rush on because I want to ask you something. Those full screens we had with the guy with the axe over his head and with the hammer over his head, just again so our viewers know, there will be kids playing this game. They will have the axe. They will be holding the axe and bringing it down on their victim. That's how this will work when played on Wii.
This is not just the future of gaming. This is just evolution from what we had. This is evolution from what we had and what we have now. You can. This is just the future of gaming. This is to make more pleasure experience. You cannot blame it on that. To get on a Wii X and start doing like this to that. You cannot blame it on that. Blame the parents. Don't blame that don't blame the Wii that this game is on Wii. Don't blame it. I get it because Wii is like kids console. I get it, but that that's why this game is from 18 plus, so that if you see that this game is on Wii, you need to expect that this game has some of sensor movement. Don't let your kids play it even if it's on Wii. That's what the future is, to make the experience more fun.
Tell you what the manufacturer Rockstar Games says about this. So we've got them on record. The Rockstar team has come up with a game that fits squarely within the horror genre and was intended to do so. It brings a unique, formerly unheard of cinematic quality to interactive entertainment and is also a fine piece of art. Their view is, hey, this may be creepy, it may be scary, but it's no different than a really creepy, scary horror flick, and people should have the right to go and use it if they want.
This is not only ridiculous, but it's just abhorrent. If a person had a propensity toward heroin use, let's say, do you give the child heroin if they have a propensity to...
My guy, that is media, and that is media. The developers have any right to say that this game fits with the horror genre, because that is horror. That's why this game is made. That's why this game is set 18 plus. I hate because he basically does that. The games try too much to compare themselves to movies. I hate that because that is media. That is media. Basically, games compare themselves to movies, but they can't because of pricks like this and irresponsible parents. They can't. They should have every right to compare themselves to movies. And also, he then says to heroin. Gaming and heroin is two different things. First of all, heroin you can get addicted to faster. Maybe not faster, but with gaming, you must sleep, you feel tired, and with heroin, you can die within one day. You can kill yourself within one day. When you use too much heroin, you can kill yourself within one day. So what the fuck are you saying? What's on your mind? Why gaming cannot be compared to movies? Why? Why that must be so difficult? Why? That's why I always say that in 20, 30 years we will be playing My Little Pony or free games from for 3 year olds. That's why I say it. And I still believe that. I still believe that. That's why I say it. I think we will. If, if parents will not be responsible, there will be not no 18 plus games. I'm sorry. I believe that. I believe that. Sorry. That's what it shows to be.
some other behavioral problem, do you give them the problem? Do you give them the knife if they have a propensity to violence? This is absolutely absurd, and the manufacturer, I'm sure, is saying this, hoping that he's going to be carrying money all the way to the bank by exploiting the worst tendencies in society.
Yeah, well, it gets released on Halloween, perhaps.
Okay, that'll be it for the acting thing.